Shakespearean Youth Theatre presents Romeo and Juliet.
Two households, both alike in dignity, in fair Verona, where we lay our scene, from ancient grudge break to new mutiny, where civil blood makes civil hands unclean. From forth the fatal loins of these two foes, a pair of star-crossed lovers take their life, whose misadventured piteous overthrows doth with their death bury their parents' strife.
I strike quickly, being moved.
But thou art not quickly moved to strike.
A dog of the house of Montague moves me.
To move is to stir, and to be valiant is to stand. Therefore, if thou art moved, thou runst away.
A dog of that house shall move me to stand. I will take the wall of any man or maid of Montague.
The quarrel is between our masters and us, their men. But draw! Here comes two of the house of the Montague.
My naked weapon is out. Quarrel! I will back thee.
How? Turn thy back and run?
Fear me not. I will bite my thumb at them, which is a disgrace to them if they bear it.
Content. Go thou and bite thy thumb, and I'll come after and frown.
Do you bite your thumb at us, sir?
I do bite my thumb, sir.
Do you bite your thumb at us, sir?
Is the law on our side if I say aye?
No!
No, sir. I do not bite my thumb at you, sir. But I bite my thumb, sir.
Do you quarrel, sir?
Quarrel, sir? No, sir.
If you do, I am for you. I serve as good a man as you.
No better?
Well, sir.
Say better. Here comes one of my masters, Kinney.
Yes, better.
You lie!
Drop, you be men!
Part, fools! Put up your swords, you know not what you do!
What art thou drawn among these heartless hinds? Turn thee, Benvolio, look upon thy death.
I do but keep the peace. Put up thy sword, or manage to part these men with me!
What? Drawn and talk of peace? I hate the word as I hate hell, all Montagues and thee. Have at thee, coward.
Clubs, bills, and partisans, strike, beat them down, down with the Capulets, down with the Montagues!
What noise is this? Give me my long sword, go!
Crutch! I'd call you for a sword.
My sword, I say! Old Montague has come and flourishes his blade in spite of me.
Thou villain Capulet, pull me not, let me go.
Thou shalt not stir 1 foot to seek a foe.
Rebellious subjects! Enemies to peace! Profaners of this neighbor's state and steel, will they not hear? What ho, you men, you beasts that quench the fires of your pernicious rage, with purple fountains issuing from your veins, on pain of torture from those bloody hands. Throw your mistempered weapons to the ground, and hear the sentence of your moved prince. 3 civil brawls, bred of an airy word by the old Capulet and Montague, have thrice disturbed the quiet of our streets. If ever you disturb our streets again, your lives shall pay the forfeit of the peace. For this time all the rest depart away. You, Capulet, shall go along with me. And Montague, come you this afternoon to know our further pleasure in this case. Once more, on pain of death, all men depart.
Who set this ancient quarrel in your broach? Speak, nephew, were you by when it began?
Here were the servants of your adversary, and yours close fighting ere I did approach. I drew to part them. In that instant came the fiery Tybalt with his sword prepared, which as he breathed defiance to mine ears, he swung about his head and cut the winds, who nothing heard withal hissed him in scorn. While we were interchanging thrusts and blows, came more and more, and fought on part and part, till the prince came, who parted either part.
Oh, where is Romeo? Saw you him today? Right glad I am he was not at this fray.
Madam, an hour before the worshipped sun peered forth the golden window of the east, a troubled mind drew me to walk abroad, where underneath a grove of sycamores, so early walking did I see your son. Toward him I made, but he was ware of me, and stole into the covert of the wood.
Many a morning hath he there been seen, with tears augmenting the fresh morning's dew. Ill and portentous must this humor prove, unless good counsel may the cause remove.
My noble uncle, do you know the cause?
I neither know it nor can learn of him. Could we but learn from whence his sorrows grow, we would as willingly give cure as know.
See where he comes, so please you step aside. I'll know his grievance or be much denied.
I would thou wert so happy by thy stay to hear true shrift. Come, madam, that's the way.
Good morrow, cousin.
Is the day so young?
But new struck
I
9.
me sad hours seem long. Was that my father that went hence so fast?
It was. What sadness lengthens Romeo's hours?
Not having that which having makes them short.
In love.
Out.
Of love?
Out of her favor where I am in love.
Oh, alas, that love so gentle in his view should be so tyrannous and rough and proof.
Alas, that love whose view is muffled still should without eyes see pathways to his will. Where shall we dine? Oh me, what fray was here? Yet tell me not, for I have heard it all. Here's much to do with hate, but more with love. Why then, oh, brawling love, oh, loving hate, oh, anything of nothing first create, oh, then heavy lightness, serious vanity, misshapen chaos of well-seeming forms, feather of lead, bright smoke, cold fire, sick health, still waking sleep, that is not what it is. This love feel I that feel no love in this. Dost thou not laugh?
No, 'cause I rather weep.
Good-hearted what?
Oh, at thy good heart's oppression.
Why, such is love's transgression. Love is a smoke made with the fume of sighs, being purged, a fire sparkling in lovers' eyes, being vexed, a sea nourished with loving tears. What is it else? A madness, most discreet, a choking gall, and preserving sweet. Farewell, my cuz.
Soft, I will go along, and if you leave me so, you do me wrong.
Tut, I have lost myself. I am not here. This is not Romeo. He's some other where.
Tell me in sadness, who is that you love?
In sadness, cousin, I do love a woman.
I aim so near when I supposed you loved.
A right good markman, and she's fair, I love.
A right fair mark, fair cuz, as soonest hit.
Well, in that hit you miss, she'll not be hit. With Cupid's arrow, she hath Dian's wit, and in strong proof of chastity, well armed from love's weak childish bow, she lives uncharmed.
And she hath sworn that she will still live chaste.
She hath, and in that sparing makes huge waste. For beauty starved with her severity cuts beauty off from all posterity.
Be ruled by me. Forget to think of her.
Oh, teach me how I should forget to think.
By giving liberty unto thine eye, examine other beauties.
'Tis the way to call hers exquisite. In question more. Show me a mistress that is passing fair. What doth her beauty serve but as a note where I may read who passed that passing fair? Farewell! Thou canst not teach me to forget.
I'll pay that doctrine, or else die in debt.
But Montague is bound as well as I in penalty alike, and 'tis not hard, I think, for men so old as we to keep the peace.
Of honorable reckoning are you both, and pity 'tis you lived at odds so long. But now, my lord, what say you to my suit?
But saying o'er what I have said before, my child is yet a stranger in the world. She hath not seen the change of 14 years. Let 2 more summers wither in their pride, ere we may think her ripe to be a bride.
Younger than she, our happy mother's maid.
And too soon marred are those so early made. The earth hath swallowed all my hopes but she. She is the hopeful lady of my earth. But woo her, gentle Paris, get her heart. My will to her consent is but a part. And she agree, within her scope of choice lies my consent and fair according voice. This night I hold an old accustomed feast, whereto I've invited many a guest such as I love. And you among the store, one more most welcome makes my number more. Come, go with me. Go, Sirrah, trudge about through fair Verona. Find those persons out whose names are written there, and to them say, my house and welcome on their pleasure stay.
Find them out whose names are written here? I am sent to find those persons whose names are here writ, and can never find what names the writing person hath here writ. I must to the learned, in good time.
Tut, man, one fire burns out, another's burning. One pain is lessened by another's anguish. Take thou some new infection to thine eye, and the rank poison of the old will die.
Your plant and leaf is excellent for that.
For what, I pray thee?
For your broken shin!
Why, Romeo, art thou mad?
Not mad, but bound more than a madman is. Shut up in prison, kept without my food, whipped and tormented, and good fellow.
Oh, God ye good end. I pray, sir, can you read?
Aye, mine own fortune in my misery.
Perhaps you have learned it without book. But I pray, sir, can you read anything you see?
Aye, if I know the letters and the language.
You say honestly. Rest ye merry.
Stay, fellow, I can read. Signor Martino and his wife and daughter, County Anselma and his beauteous sisters, the Lady Widow of Vitruvio, Signor Placentio and his lovely nieces, Mercutio and his brother Valentine, my cousin Capulet, his wife and daughters, my fair niece Rosaline, Olivia, Signor Valentio and his cousin Tybalt, Lucio and the lively Helena of their assembly. Whither should they come?
Up?
Whither? To supper?
To our house?
Whose house?
My master's.
Indeed, I should have asked you that before.
And now I'll tell you without asking. My master is the great, rich Capulet, and if you be not of the house of Montague, I pray, sir, come crush a cup of wine. Rest ye merry.
At the same ancient feast of Capulet sups the fair Rosaline, whom thou so loves, with all the admired beauties of Verona. Go thither, and with unattainted eye compare her face to some that I shall show, and I will make thee think thy swan a crow.
I'll go along, no such sight to be shown, but to rejoice in splendor of mine own.
Nurse, where's my daughter? Call her forth to me.
Now by my maidenhead at 12-year-old, I bade her come. What lamb? What ladybird?
God forbid, where is this girl?
What Juliet?
Oh, now, who calls?
Your mother.
Madam, I am here. What is your will?
This is the matter. Nurse, give leave while. We must talk in secret. Nurse, come back again. I've remembered thou's hear our counsel. Thou knows my daughter's of a pretty age.
Faith, I can tell her age in 2 an hour.
She's not 14.
I'll lay 14 of my teeth, and yet to my teen it be spoken, I have but 4. She's not 14. How long is it now till Lammastide?
Fortnight and odd days.
Even or odd of all the days in the year, come Lammas Eve at night shall she be 14. Ah, Susan and she, God rest all Christian souls, were of an age. Well, Susan is with God, she was too good for me. But as I said, on Lammas Eve at night shall she be 14. That shall she, Mary, I remember it well. 'Tis since the earthquake, now 11 years. When Juliet was weaned, I never shall forget it, of all the days in the year upon that day. For I had then laid wormwood to my dug, sitting in the sun under the dove-house wall. My lord and you were then at Mantua. Nay, I do bear brain. But, as I said, when she did taste the wormwood on the nipple of my dug and felt it bitter, pretty fool to see her tetchy and fall out with the dug. And since that time it is 11 years. For even then she could stand alone. Nay, by the rood, she could have run and waddled all about. For even the day before, she broke her brow. And then my husband, God be with his soul, he was a merry man, took up this child. Yea, quoth he, dost thou fall upon thy face? Thou wilt fall backward whence thou hast more wit, wilt thou not, Jewel? Oh, and by my holy dam, the pretty wretch left crying and said, I! Oh, to see how a jest shall come about. I warrant you, I should live 1,000 years and never should forget it. Will thou not, Juliet, quoth he, and pretty fool she stinted and said, I.
And stint thou too, I pray thee, nurse, say I.
Peace, I have done. God mark thee to his grace, thou was the prettiest babe that e'er I nursed. And I should live to see thee married once, I have my wish.
Mary? That, Mary, is the very theme I came to talk of. Tell me, daughter Juliet, how stands your disposition to be married?
It is an honor that I dream not of.
An honor? Were not I thine only nurse, I would say thou had sucked wisdom from thy teat.
Well, think of marriage now. Younger than you, here in Verona, ladies of esteem are made already mothers. By my count, I was your mother much upon these years that you are now a maid. Thus, then in brief, the valiant Paris seeks you for his love.
Oh, a man, young lady, such a man is all the world. Why, he's a man of wax.
Verona's summer hath not such a flower.
Nay, he's a flower, in faith a very flower.
What say you? Can you love the gentleman? This night, you shall behold him at our feast, read o'er the volume of young Paris' face, and find delight there, writ with beauty's pen. This precious book of love, this unbound lover, to beautify him only lacks a cover. So shall you share all that he doth possess by having him, making yourself no less.
No less. Nay, bigger. Women grow by men.
Speak briefly. Can you like of Paris' love?
I'll look to like, if looking liking move. But no more deep will I indart mine eye than your consent gives strength to make it fly.
Madam! The guests are come. Supper served up. You called for, my young lady asked for, the nurse cursed in the pantry, and everything in extremity. I must hence to wait. I beseech you, follow straight.
We follow thee. Juliet, the county stays.
Go, girl. Seek happy nights to happy days.
What? Shall this speech be spoke for our excuse, or shall we on without apology?
The date is out of such prolixity, so let them measure us by what they will. We'll measure them a measure and be gone.
Give me a torch. I'm not for this ambling. Being but heavy, I will bear the light.
Nay, gentle Romeo, we must have you dance.
Not I, believe me. You have dancing shoes with nimble soles. I have a soul of lead, so stakes me to the ground, I cannot move.
You are a lover, borrow Cupid's wings, and soar with them above a common bound.
I am to soar, and pierced with his shaft to soar with his light feathers, and so bound, I cannot bound a pitch above dull woe, under love's heavy burden do I sink.
And to sink in it should you burden love, too great oppression for a tender thing.
Is love a tender thing? It is too rough, too rude, too boisterous, and it pricks like thorn.
If love be rough with you, be rough with love. Prick love for pricking, and you beat love down. Give me a case to put my visage in. A visor for a visor. What care I but curious eye doth quote deformities? Here the beetle brows shall blush for me.
Come, knock and enter, but no sooner end, but every man betake him to his legs.
A torch for me. Let wantons light of heart tickle the senseless rushes with their heels. I'll be a candle holder, and look on.
Come, we burn daylight, ho.
Nay, that's not so.
I mean, sir, in delay. We waste our lights in vain, like lamps by day.
And we mean well in going to this mask, but 'tis no whit to go.
Why, may one ask?
I dreamt a dream tonight.
And so did I.
Well, what was yours?
That dreamers often lie.
In bed asleep while they do dream things true.
Oh, then I see Queen Maeve hath been with you. She is the fairy's midwife, and she comes in shape no bigger than agate stone on the forefinger of an alderman, drawn with a team of little atomies athwart men's noses as they lie asleep. Her wagon spokes made of long spinner's legs, the cover of the wings of grasshoppers, her traces of the smallest spider's web, her collars of the moonshine's watery beams, her whip of cricket's bone, the lash of film, her wagoner, a small gray-coated gnat, not half so big as a round little worm pricked from the lazy finger of a maid. Her chariot is an empty hazelnut made by the joiner squirrel or old grub, time out of mind of fairies' coachmakers, and in this state she gallops night by night through lovers' brains. And then they dream of love. Or on courtiers' knees that dream on curtsies straight. Or liars' fingers who straight dream on fees. Or ladies' lips who straight on kisses dream. Which oft the angry Mab with blisters plagues because their breath with sweet meats tainted are. Sometime she gallops o'er a courtier's nose, and then dreams he of smelling out a suit, and sometime comes she with a tithe pig's tail tickling a parson's nose as he lies asleep. Then he dreams of another benefice. Sometime she driveth o'er a soldier's neck, and then dreams he of cutting foreign throats, of breeches, ambuscados, Spanish blades, of healths 5 fathom deep, and then anon drums in his ears, at which he starts and wakes, and being thus frighted, swears a prayer or two and sleeps again. This is that very Mab that plats the manes of horses in the night and bakes the elf locks in foul, sluttish hairs, which once untangled much misfortune bodes. This is the hag when maids lie on their backs that presses them and learns them first to bear, making them women of good carriage. This is she.
Peace! Peace, Mercutio, peace, thou talk'st of nothing.
True, I talk of dreams, which are the children of an idle brain, begot of nothing but vain fantasy, which is as thin of substance as the air, and more inconstant than the wind.
This wind you talk of blows us from ourselves. Supper is done, we shall come too late.
I fear too early, for my mind misgives some consequence yet hanging in the stars. Let he that hath the steerage of my course direct my sail. On, lusty gentlemen!
Strike drum!
Welcome, gentlemen! Ladies that have their toes unplagued with corns, we'll walk about with you. My mistresses, which of you all will now deny to dance? She that makes dainty, she I'll swear hath corns. Am I come near ye now? Welcome, gentlemen. I have seen the day that I have worn a visor and could tell a whispering tale in a fair lady's ear, such as would please. 'Tis gone, 'tis gone, 'tis gone. You are welcome, gentlemen. Come, musicians, play! A-hole, give room and foot it, girls!
More light, you knaves, and turn the tables up, and quench the fire. The room has grown too hot.
Ah, Sirrah, this unlooked-for sport comes well. Nay, sit, good cousin Capulet, for you and I are past our dancing days. How long is it now since last yourself and I were in a mask?
By Our Lady, 30 years.
What, man? 'Tis not so much. 'Tis since the nuptial of Lucentio. Come Pentecost as quickly as it will some 25 years, and then we mask.
'Tis more. His son is elder, sir. His son is 30.
Will you tell me that? His son was but a ward 2 years ago.
What lady is that which doth enrich the hand of yonder knight?
I know not, sir.
Oh, she doth teach the torches to burn bright. The measure done, I'll watch her place of stand, and touching hers make blessed my rude hand. Did my heart love till now? Forswear its sight, for I ne'er saw true beauty till this night.
By his voice should be a Montague. Fetch me my rapier, boy. What dares the knave come hither, covered with an antic face, to fleer and scorn at our solemnity? By the stock and honor of my kin, to strike him dead, I hold it not a sin.
Why, how now, kinsman, wherefore storm you so?
Uncle, this is a Montague, our foe, a villain that is hither come in spite to scorn at our solemnity this night.
Young Romeo, is it?
'Tis he, that villain Romeo.
Content thee, gentle coz, let him alone. He bears him like a portly gentleman, and to say truth, Verona brags of him to be a virtuous and well-governed youth. I would not for the wealth of all the town here in my house do him disparagement. Therefore be patient. Take no note of him.
If it's not when a villain is a guest, I'll not endure him.
He shall be endured. What, Goodman boy? I say he shall. Go to. Am I the master here, or you? Go to. You'll not endure him. God shall mend my soul. You'll make a mutiny among my guests?
My uncle, 'tis shame.
Go to, you are a saucy boy. Is so indeed, this trick may chance to scathe you, I know what. You must contrary me. Marry, 'tis time. Well said, my hearts. You are a princox. Go, be quiet, or more light, for shame. I'll make you quiet. What? Cheerly, my hearts.
Patience perforce with woeful caller meeting, makes my flesh tremble in their different greeting. I will withdraw, for this intrusion shall, now seeming sweet, convert to bitter gall.
If I profane with my unworthiest hand this holy shrine, the gentle sin is this. My lips, two blushing pilgrims ready stand to smooth that rough touch with a tender kiss.
Good pilgrim, you do wrong your hand too much. Which mannerly devotion shows in this, for saints have hands that pilgrims' hands do touch, and palm to palm is holy palmer's kiss.
Have not saints lips and holy palmers too?
Aye, pilgrim, lips that they must use in prayer.
Oh, then, dear saint, let lips do what hands do. They pray, grant thou lest faith turn to despair.
Saints do not move, though grant for prayer's sake.
Then move not, while my prayer's effect I take. Thus, from my lips by thine my sin is purged.
Then have my lips the sin that they have took?
Sin from my lips? Oh, trespass sweetly urged, give me my sin again.
You kiss by the book.
Madam, your mother craves a word with you.
What is her mother?
Marry, bachelor, her mother is the lady of the house, and a good lady, and a wise and virtuous. I nursed her daughter that you talk withal.
Is she a Capulet? Oh, dear, account my life as my foe's debt.
Away be gone, the sport is at the best.
I fear the more is my unrest.
Nay, gentlemen, prepare not to be gone. We have a trifling foolish banquet towards.
I'm sure the feast is currently unavailable.
Is Stephen so?
Yes, I am just.
Why then, I thank you all. I thank you, honest gentlemen. Good night. More torches here. Come on then, let's to bed. Ah, sirrah, by my fay, it waxes late. I'll to my rest.
Come hither, nurse. What's he that follows here that would not dance?
I know not.
Go, ask his name. If he be myriad, my grave is like to be my wedding bed.
His name is Romeo, and a Montague, the only son of your great enemy.
My only love sprung from my only hate. Too early seen, unknown, and known too late. Prodigious birth of love it is to me, that I must love a loathed enemy.
What's this? What's this?
A rhyme I learned even now of one I danced withal.
Juliet! Anon. Come, let's away. The strangers are all gone.
Can I go forward when my heart is here? Turn back, dull earth, and find thy center out.
Romeo! My cousin Romeo! Romeo!
He is wise, and on my life hath stolen him home to bed.
He ran this way and leapt this orchard wall. Call, good Mercutio.
Nay, I'll conjure too. Romeo! Humors! Madman! Passion! Laver! Appear thou in the likeness of a sigh. Speak but one rhyme, and I am satisfied. Cry me, but I me. Pronounce but love and dove. Speak to my gossip Venus one fair. Word 1, nickname for her purblind son and heir, young Abram Cupid, he that shot so true when King Cophetua loved the beggar maid. He heareth not, he stirreth not, he moveth not. The ape is dead, and I must conjure him. I conjure thee by Rosaline's bright eyes, by her high forehead and her scarlet lip, by her fine foot, straight leg, and quivering thigh, and the means that there adjacent lie, that in thy likeness thou appear to us.
And if he hears thee, thou wilt anger him. Come, he hath hid himself among these trees to be consorted with the humorous night. Blind is his love, and best befits the dark.
If love be blind, love cannot hit the mark. Now will he sit under a medlar tree, and wish his mistress were that kind of fruit, as maids call medlars when they laugh alone. Oh, Romeo, that she were an open arse, or thou a popperin pear. Romeo, good night. I'll to my truckle bed. This field bed is too cold for me to sleep. Come, shall we go?
Go then, for 'tis in vain to seek him here that means not to be found.
He jests at scars that never felt a wound. But soft, what light through yonder window breaks? It is the east, and Juliet is the sun. Arise, fair sun, and kill the envious moon, who is already sick and pale with grief that thou, her maid, art far more fair than she. Oh, it is my lady. Oh, it is my love. Oh, that she knew she were. She speaks, yet she says nothing. What if that her eye discourses? I will answer it. I am too bold. 'Tis not to me she speaks. Two of the fairest stars in all the heaven, having some business, do entreat her eyes to twinkle in their spheres till they return. What if her eyes were there? They in her head, the brightness of her cheek would shame those stars as daylight doth a lamp. Her eyes in heaven would through the airy regions stream so bright that birds would sing and think it were not night. Oh, see how she leans her cheek upon her hand. Oh, that I were a glove upon that hand, that I might touch that cheek.
Ay me.
She speaks. Oh, speak again, bright angel.
Oh, Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou Romeo? Deny thy father, and refuse thy name. Or, if thou wilt not, be but sworn my love, and I'll no longer be a Capulet.
Shall I hear more? Shall I speak at this?
'Tis but thy name that is my enemy. Thou art thyself, though not a Montague. What's Montague? It is nor hand, nor foot, nor arm, nor face, nor any other part belonging to a man. Oh, be some other name. What's in a name? That which we call a rose by any other word would smell as sweet. So Romeo would, were he not Romeo called, retain that dear perfection which he owes without that title. Romeo, doff thy name, and for thy name, which is no part of thee, take all myself.
I'll take thee at thy word. Call me but love, and I'll be new baptized. Henceforth I never will be Romeo.
What man art thou that thus bescreened in night so stumblest on my counsel?
By a name I know not how to tell thee who I am. My name, dear saint, is hateful to myself because it is an enemy to thee. Had I it written, I would tear the word.
My ears have not yet drunk 100 words of thy tongue's uttering, yet I know the sound. Art thou not Romeo and a Montague?
Neither, fair maid, if either thee dislike.
How camest thou hither, tell me, and wherefore? The orchard walls are high and hard to climb, and the place death, considering who thou art, if any of my kinsmen find thee here.
With love's light wings did I o'erperch these walls, for stony limits cannot hold love out, and what love can do, that dares love attempt. Therefore thy kinsmen are no stop to me!
If they do see thee, they will murder thee.
Alack, there lies more peril in thine eye than 20 of their swords. Look thou but sweet, and I am proof against their enmity.
I would not for the world they saw thee here.
I have night's cloak to hide me from their eyes. And but thou love me, let them find me here. My life were better ended by their hate than death prorogued wanting of thy love.
Thou knowest the mask of night is on my face, else would a maiden blush bepaint my cheek for that which thou hast heard me speak tonight. Fain would I dwell on form, fain, deny what I have spoke. But farewell, compliment. Dost thou love me? I know thou wilt say aye, and I will take thy word. Yet, if thou swearest, thou mayest prove false. At lovers' perjuries, they say Jove laughs. O gentle Romeo, if thou dost love, pronounce it faithfully. Or, if thou thinkst I am too quickly won, I'll frown and be perverse and say thee nay, so thou wilt woo. But else not for the world. In truth, fair Montague, I am too fond, and therefore thou mayst think my behavior light. But trust me, gentlemen, I'll prove more true than those that have more cunning to be strange.
Lady, by yonder blessed moon I swear that tips with silver all these fruit-free tops.
Oh, swear not by the moon, the inconstant moon that monthly changes in her circled orb, lest that thy love prove likewise variable.
Oh, what shall I swear by?
Do not swear at all. Or, if thou wilt, swear by thy gracious self, which is the god of my idolatry, and I'll believe thee.
If my heart's dear love...
Well, do not swear. Although I joy in thee, I have no joy in this contract tonight. It is too rash, too unadvised, too sudden, too like the lightning which does cease to be ere one can say it lightens. Sweet, good night. This bud of love by summer's ripening breath shall prove a beauteous flower when next we meet. Good night, as sweet repose and rest come to thy heart as that within my breast.
Oh, wilt thou leave me so unsatisfied?
What satisfaction canst thou have tonight?
The exchange of thy love's faithful thou for mine.
I gave thee mine before thou didst request it, and yet I would it were to give again.
Wouldst thou withdraw it? For what purpose, love?
But to be frank and give it thee again. And yet I wish but for the thing I have. My bounty is as boundless as the sea, my love as deep. The more I give to thee, the more I have, for both are infinite.
Juliet!
I hear some noise within. Dear love, adieu. Anon, good nurse. Sweet Montague, be true. Stay but a little, I will come again.
Oh, blessed night. I'm afeard. Being in night, all this is but a dream, too flattering sweet to be substantial.
3 words, dear Romeo, and good night indeed. If thy bent of love be honorable, thy purpose marriage, send me word tomorrow by one that I'll procure to come to thee, where and what time thou wilt perform the rite, and all my fortunes at thy foot I'll lay, and follow thee, my lord, throughout the world.
Madam!
I come anon, but if thou meanst not well, I do beseech thee.
Madam!
By and by I come, to cease thy strife and leave me to my grief. Tomorrow will I send.
So thrive my soul.
1,000 times good night.
1,000 times the worse to want thy light. Love goes towards love as schoolboys from their books, but love from love towards school with heavy looks.
Psst! Romeo! Psst! Oh, for a falconer's voice to lure this tassel gentle back again. Bondage is hoarse and may not speak aloud. Else would I tear the cave where echo lies and make her airy tongue more hoarse than mine with repetition of my Romeo.
It is my soul that calls upon my name.
Romeo!
Madam.
What o'clock tomorrow shall I send to thee?
By the hour of 9.
I will not fail. 'Tis 20 years till then. I have forgot why I did call thee back.
Let me stand here till thou remember it.
I shall forget to have thee still stand there, remembering how I love thy company.
And I'll still stay, to have thee still forget, forgetting any other home but this.
'Tis almost morning. I would have thee gone. And yet, no further than a wanton's bird that lets it hop a little from his hand like a poor prisoner in his twisted gyves, and with a silken thread plucks it back again, so loving jealous of his liberty.
I would I were thy bird.
Sweet, so would I. Yet I should kill thee with much cherishing. Good night, good night. Parting is such sweet sorrow that I should say good night till it be morrow.
Sleep dwell upon thine eyes, peace in thy breast. Would I were sleep and peace so sweet to rest. Hence will I to my ghostly friar cell, his help to crave and my dear hap to tell.
Gray-eyed morn smiles on the frowning night, checkering the eastern clouds with streaks of light, and fleckled darkness like a drunkard reels from fourth day's path and Titan's burning wheels. Now, ere the sun advance his burning eye, the day to cheer and night's dank dew to dry, I must upfill this osier cage of ours with baleful weeds and precious juiced flowers. The earth that's nature's mother is her tomb. What is her burying grave? That is her womb. And from her womb, children of divers kind, we, sucking on her natural bosom, find many for many virtues excellent, none but for some, and yet all different. Oh, mighty is the powerful grace that lies in plants, herbs, stones, and their true qualities. For not so vile that on the earth doth live, but to the earth some special good doth give. Within the infant rind of this weak flower, poison hath residence, and medicine power. For this being smelt with that part cheers each part. Being tasted slays all senses with the heart. Two such opposed kings encamp them still, in man as well as herbs, grace and rude will.
Good morrow, father.
Benedice te, what early tongue so sweet saluteth me? Young son, it argues a distempered head so soon to bid good morrow to thy bed. Or, if not so, then here I hit it right. Our Romeo hath not been in bed tonight.
The last is true, the sweeter rest was mine.
God pardon sin, wast thou with Rosaline?
With Rosaline, my ghostly father? No, I have forgot that name, and that name's woe.
That's my good son, but where hast thou been then?
I'll tell it ere thou ask it me again. I have been feasting with mine enemy, where on a sudden one hath wounded me, that's by me wounded. Both are remedies within thy help and holy physic lies.
Be plain, good son, and homely in thy drift. Riddling confession finds but riddling shrift.
Then plainly know my heart's dear love is set on the fair daughter of rich Capulet. As mine on hers, so hers is set on mine, and all combined save what thou must combine by holy marriage. When and where and how we met, we wooed and made exchange a vow. I'll tell it as we pass, but this I pray, that thou consent to marry us today.
Holy Saint Francis, what a change is here! Is Rosaline that thou didst love so dear, so soon forsaken? Young men's love then lies not truly in their hearts, but in their eyes.
Thou chidst me off for loving Rosaline.
For doting, not for loving, pupil mine.
And badst me bury love.
Not in a grave to lay one in, another out to have.
I pray thee chide me not. Her I love now doth grace for grace, and love for love allow. The other did not so.
Oh, she knew well thy love did read by rote that could not spell. But come, young waverer, come, go with me. In one respect all thy assistant be, for this alliance may so happy prove to turn your household's rancor to pure love.
Oh, let us hence, I stand on sudden haste.
Wisely and slow they stumble that run fast.
Where the devil should this Romeo be? Came he not home tonight?
Not to his father's house. I spoke with his man.
Why, that same tale, hard-hearted wench, that Rosaline torments him so that he will sure run mad.
Tybalt, the kinsman to old Capulet, hath sent a letter to his father's house.
A challenge on my life.
Romeo will answer it.
Alas, poor Romeo, he is already dead. Stabbed with a white wench's black eye, run through the ear with a love song, the very pin of his heart, cleft with the blind bow boy's butt shaft. And is he now a man to encounter Tybalt?
Why, what is Tybalt?
More than Prince of Cats. Oh, he's the courageous captain of compliments. He fights as you sing prick song, keeps time, distance, and proportion. He rests his men unrests. 1, 2, and the third in your bosom, the very butcher of a silk button, a duelist, a gentleman of the very first house, the first and second cause. Ah, the immortal pasado, the punto reverso, the hey!
The what?
The pox of such antic, lisping, affecting fantasticos. These new tuners of accent. By Jesu, a very good blade, a very tall man, a very good whore. Why, is not this a lamentable thing, grandsire, that we should be thus frighted with these strange flies, these fashion mongers, these pardone-me's?
Oh, here comes Romeo. Here comes Romeo.
Proud as roe, like a dried herring. Oh, flesh, how art thou fishified? Signor Romeo, Monsieur, there's a French salutation to your French slop. You gave us the counterfeit fairly last night.
Good morrow to you both. What counterfeit did I give you?
The slip, sir, the slip. Can you not conceive?
Pardon, Mercutio. My business was great, and in a case such as mine, a man may strain courtesy.
That's as much as to say, a case such as yours constrains a man to bow in the hand.
Meaning to curtsy.
Thou hast most kindly hit it.
Most courteous exposition.
I am the very pink of courtesy.
Pink for flower.
Right.
Why then is my pump well flowered?
Come between us, good Benvolio, my wits faint.
Swits and spurs, or I'll cry 'em at.
Why is not this better now than groaning for love? Now art thou sociable, now art thou Romeo. Now art thou what thou art by art as well as by nature.
Here's good link here. A sail.
Two, a shirt and a smock.
Peter!
Anon!
My fan, Peter. God ye good morrow, gentlemen.
God ye good end, fair gentlewoman.
Oh, is it good end?
'Tis no less, I tell you, for the body hand of the dial is now upon the prick of noon.
How'd upon you? What a man are you?
One gentlewoman that God hath made himself to mar.
Well, by my troth, it is well said. For himself to mar, quoth he. Gentlemen, can any of you tell me where I may find the young Romeo?
I can tell you. But young Romeo will be older when you have found him than he was when you sought him. I am the youngest of that name, for fault of a worse.
If you be he, sir, I desire some confidence with you.
She will invite him to some supper.
A bod, so.
What hast thou found?
No hair, sir, unless a hare, sir, in a Lenten pie. That is something stale and hoar ere it be spent. An old hare whore and an old hare whore is very good meat in Lent. But a hare that is whore is too much for a score when it whores ere it be spent. Romeo, will you come to your father's will to dinner, diver?
I will follow you.
Farewell, ancient lady. Farewell, lady.
Marry, farewell. Pray, what saucy merchant was this? That was so full of his ropery.
A gentleman, nurse, that loves to hear himself talk, and will speak more in a minute than he will stand to in a month.
Oh, if he stand to anything against me, I'll take him down, if he were lustier than he is. If I cannot take him down, I'll find those that shall. And thou shouldst stand by too, and suffer every jack to use me at his pleasure.
I saw no man use you at his pleasure. But if I had, my weapon should quickly have been out. I warrant you, I dare draw as soon as another man, if I see occasion in good quarrel, and the law on my side.
Now, for God, he hath so vexed me that every member about me quivers. Scurvy knave. Pray you, sir, a word. Now, as I told you, my young lady bid me inquire you out. What she bid me say, I will keep to myself. But let me tell thee, if ye should lead her into a fool's paradise, as they say, it were a very gross kind of behavior, as they say. For the gentlewoman is young, and therefore if you should deal double with her, truly it were an ill thing to be offered to any gentlewoman, and very weak dealing.
Nurse, commend me to thy lady and mistress. I do protest unto thee
Good heart, and in faith I will tell her as much. Lord, she will be a joyful woman.
What wilt thou tell her, nurse? Thou dost not mark me.
I will tell her, sir, that you do protest, which, as I understand it, is a gentlemanlike offer.
Bid her devise some means to come to Shrift this afternoon, and there she shall, at Friar Laurence cell, be shrived and married. Here is for thy pains.
No, truly, sir, not a penny.
Go to, I say you shall.
This afternoon, sir? Well, she shall be there.
Farewell, commend me to thy mistress.
How God in heaven bless thee. Hark you, sir, my mistress is the sweetest lady. Lord, when 'twas a little prating thing. Oh, there's a noble man in town, one Paris, that would fain lay knife aboard. But she, good soul, had as lief see a toad, a very toad, as see him. I anger her sometimes, and tell her that Paris is the properer man. But I warrant you, when I tell her as such, she looks as pale as any cloud in the versal world.
Commend me to thy lady.
Aye, 1,000 times. Peter!
Anon!
Take my fan and go before.
The clock struck 9 when I did send the nurse. In half an hour she promised to return. Perchance she cannot meet him. That's not so. Oh, she is lame. Love's herald should be thoughts which 10 times faster glides than the sun's beams. Now is the sun upon the highmost hill of this day's journey, and from 9 till 12 is 3 long hours, yet she is not come. Had she affections and warm youthful blood, she would be as swift in motion as a ball. My words would bandy her to my sweet love, and his to me. But old folks, many feign as they were dead, unwieldy, slow, heavy, and pale as lead. Oh God, she comes! Oh, honey nurse, what news? Oh Lord, why look'st thou sad? Though news be sad, yet tell them merrily.
I am weary. Give me leave a while. Fie, how my bones ache. What a jaunt have I had.
I would thou hadst my bones, and I thy news. Nay, come, I pray thee speak. Good nurse, speak.
Jesu, what haste? Can you not stay a while? Do you not see that I am out of breath?
How art thou out of breath when thou hast breath to say to me that thou art out of breath? The excuse that thou dost make in this delay is longer than the tale thou dost excuse. Let me be satisfied, is't good or bad?
Well, you've made a simple choice. You know not how to choose a man. Romeo? No, not he. Though his face be better than any man's, yet his leg excels all men's. Hand for hand, and a foot, and a body. Though they be not to be talked on, yet they are past compare. Go thy ways, wench, serve God. What hast thou dined at home?
No. But all this did I know before. What says he of our marriage? What of that?
Have you got leave to go to Shrift today?
I have.
Then hie you hence to Friar Laurence cell. There stays a husband to make you a wife.
Oh my God!
Oh, now comes the wanton blood up in your cheeks. They'll be scarlet straight at any news. Hie you to church, I must another way. I am the drudge and toil in your delight. Yet you shall bear the burden soon at night. Go, all to dinner, hie you to the cell.
Hie to high fortune, honest nurse, farewell.
So smile the heavens upon this holy act, that after hours with sorrow chide us not.
Amen, amen. But come what sorrow can, it cannot countervail the exchange of joy that one short minute gives me in her sight. Do thou but close our hands with holy words. Then love-devouring death, do what he dare. It is enough, I may but call her mine.
These violent delights have violent ends, and in their triumph die like fire and powder, which as they kiss consume. The sweetest honey is loathsome in his own deliciousness, and in the taste confounds the appetite. Therefore, love moderately, long love doth so, too swift arrives as tardy as too slow. Here comes the lady.
Good even to my ghostly confessor.
Romeo shall thank thee, daughter, for us both.
As much to him else is his thanks too much.
My Juliet, welcome. As do waking eyes, closed in night's mist, attend the frolic day, so Romeo hath envisaged Juliet, and thou art come.
I am. If I be day, come to my sun. Shine forth and make me fair.
Come with me, and we will make short work, for by your leaves you shall not stay alone till Holy Church incorporate 2 in 1.
I pray thee, good Mercutio, let's retire. The day is hot, the Capulets abroad, and if we meet, we shall not scape a brawl, for now these hot days is the mad blood stirring.
Thou art like one of these fellows that when he enters the confines of a tavern, claps me his sword upon the table and says, God send me no need of thee, and by the operation of the second cup, draws him on the drawer when indeed there is no need.
Am I like such a fellow?
Come, thou art as hot a jack in thy mood as any in Italy. Why, thou wilt quarrel with a man that hath a hair more or a hair less in his beard than thou hast. Thou wilt quarrel with a man for cracking nuts, having no other reason but because thou hast hazel eyes. Thou hast quarreled with a man for coughing in the street because he hath wakened thy dog that hath lain asleep in the sun.
Well,
didst thou not fall out with a tailor for wearing his new doublet before Easter, with another for tying his new shoes with old riband, and yet thou wilt tutor me from quarreling?
By my head, here come the Capulets.
By my heel, I care not.
Follow me close, for I will speak to them. Gentlemen, good end. A word with one of you.
And but one word with one of us. Couple it with something. Make it a word and a blow.
You shall find me apt enough to that, sir, and you'll give me occasion.
Could you not take some occasion without giving?
Mercutio, thou consortst with Romeo.
Consort. What, dost thou make us minstrels? And thou make minstrels of us look to hear nothing but discord. Here's my fiddlestick. Here's that shall make you dance. Come, consort.
We talk here in the public haunt of men. Either withdraw unto some private place, or reason coldly your grievances, or else depart. Here all eyes gaze on us.
Men's eyes were made to look, and let them gaze. I will not budge for no man's pleasure, I.
Well, peace be with you, sir. Here comes my man. Romeo, the love I bear thee can afford no better term than this. Thou art a villain.
Tybalt, the reason that I have to love thee doth much excuse the appertaining rage to such a greeting. Villain am I none, therefore farewell, I see thou knowest me not.
Boy, they shall not excuse the injuries thou hast done me. Therefore turn and draw.
I do protest I never injured thee, but loved thee better than thou canst devise, till thou shalt know the reason of my love, and so, good Capulet, which name I tender as dearly as my own, be satisfied.
Oh, calm. This honorable, vile submission. A la staccata carries it away. Tybalt, you rat catcher! Will you walk?
What's to have with me?
You're the king of cats, nothing but one of your 9 lives. Will you pluck your sword out of his pilcher by the ears? Make haste, lest mine be about your ears ere it be out.
I am for you.
Gentle Mercutio, put thy rapier up.
Come, sir, your passado.
Draw, Benvolio! Beat down their weapons! Gentlemen, for shame! Forbear this outrage! Tybalt, Mercutio the prince expressly hath forbid this bandying in Verona street! Oh, Tybalt, good Mercutio!
Away, Tybalt!
I am hurt. A plague on both the houses. I am sped. Is he gone and half nothing?
What, art thou hurt?
I, a scratch. Marry, 'tis enough. Where's my page? Go, villain, fetch a surgeon.
I go, my lord.
Courage, man, the hurt cannot be much.
No, 'tis not so deep as a well, nor so wide as a church door, but 'tis enough. Will serve. Ask for me tomorrow, and you shall find me a grave man. I am peppered, I warrant, for this world. Zounds! A dog, a rat, a mouse, a cat to scratch a man to death? A braggart, a rogue, a villain that fights by the book of arithmetic. Why the devil came you between us? I was hurt under your arm.
I thought all for the best.
Help me into some house, Benvolio, or I shall faint a plague on both your houses. I shall be fairly mounted upon 4 men's shoulders for your houses of the Montagues and the Capulets, and then some peasantly rogue, some sexton, some base slave shall write my epitaph that Tybalt came and broke the prince's laws, and Mercutio was slain for the first and second cause. Where's the surgeon?
He's come, sir.
Come, Benvolio, lend me thy hand. They have made worms meat of me. I have it, and soundly too. Your houses.
This gentleman, the prince is near a lie, my very friend, hath got his mortal hurt in my behalf. My reputation stained with Tybalt's slander. Tybalt that an hour hath been my kinsman. Oh, sweet Juliet, thy beauty hath made me effeminate, and in my temper softened valor's steel.
Oh, Romeo. Brave Mercutio's dead. That gallant spirit hath aspired the clouds which too untimely here did scorn the earth.
This day's black fate on more days doth depend. This but begins the woe others must end.
Here comes the furious Tybalt back again.
Alive in triumph and Mercutio slain! Away to heaven respective lenity and fire-eyed fury be my conduct now! Now, Tybalt, take the villain back again that late thou gavest me, for Mercutio's soul is but little way above our heads, staying for thine to keep him company. Either thou or I or both must go with him.
Thou wretched boy that didst consort him, here shalt with him hence.
They shall determine that.
Romeo, away! Be gone, the citizens are up, and Tybalt slain. Stand not amazed, the prince will doom thee death if thou art taken. Hence, be gone, away.
Oh, I am fortune's fool.
Why dost thou say?
Which way ran he that killed Mercutio? Tybalt that murderer, which way ran he?
There lies that Tybalt.
Up, sir, go with me. I charge thee in the prince's name, obey. Where are the vile beginners of this fray?
Oh, noble prince, I can discover all the unlucky manage of this fatal brawl. There lies the man slain by young Romeo, that slew thy kinsman, brave Mercutio.
Tybalt, my cousin? Oh, my brother's child. Oh, prince. Oh, cousin, husband, the blood is spilled of my dear kinsman, prince, as thou art true for blood of ours. Shed blood of Montague. Oh, cousin.
Benvolio, who began this fray?
Tybalt, here slain, that Romeo's hand did slay. Romeo that spoke him fair, bid him bethink how nice the quarrel was, and urged with all your high displeasure. All this uttered with gentle breath, calm look, knees humbly bowed, could not take truce with the unruly spleen of Tybalt, deaf to peace, but that he tilts with piercing steel at bold Mercutio's breast, who all is hot turns deadly point to point, and with a martial scorn, with one hand beats cold death aside, and with the other sends it back to Tybalt, whose dexterity retorts it. Romeo, he cries aloud, hold, friends, part, and swifter than his tongue did his agile arm beat down their points, and twixt them rushes, underneath whose arm an envious thrust from Tybalt hit the life of stout Mercutio. And then Tybalt fled. But by and by comes back to Romeo, who had but newly entertained revenge, and to it they go like lightning. For ere I could draw to part them was stout Tybalt slain. And as he fell did Romeo turn and fly. This is the truth, or let Benvolio die.
He is a kinsman to the Montague. Affection makes him false. He speaks not true. Some 20 of them fought in this black strife, and all those 20 could but kill one life. I beg for justice, which thou, prince, must give. Romeo slew Tybalt. Romeo must not live.
Romeo slew him. He slew Mercutio, who now the price of his dear blood doth owe.
Not Romeo, prince, he was Mercutio's friend. His fall concludes but what the law should end, the life of Tybalt.
And for that offense, immediately we do exile him hence. I have an interest in your hates proceeding. My blood for your rude brawls doth lie a-bleeding. But I'll attach you with so strong a fine that you shall all repent the loss of mine. I will be deaf to pleading and excuses, nor tears nor prayers shall purchase out abuses, therefore use none. Let Romeo hence in haste, else when he is found, that hour is his last. Bear hence this body and attend our will. Mercy but murders, pardoning those that kill.
Gallop apace, you fiery-footed steeds, towards Phoebus' lodging. Such a wagoner as Phaeton would whip you to the west and bring in cloudy night immediately. Spread thy close-curtained love-performing night that runaways' eyes may wink, and Romeo leap to these arms untalked of and unseen. Lovers can see to do their amorous rites by their own beauties. Or, if love be blind, it best agrees with night. Come, civil knight, thou sober-suited matron all in black, and learn me how to lose a winning match, played for a pair of stainless maidenhoods. Hood my unmanned blood bathing in my cheeks with thy black mantle, till strange love grow bold, think true love acted simple modesty. Come, night, come, Romeo, come thou day and night, for thou wilt lie upon the wings of night, whiter than new snow upon a raven's back. Come, gentle knight, come, loving black-browed knight, give me my Romeo. And when I shall die, take him and cut him out in little stars, and he will make the face of heaven so fine that all the world will be in love with night and pay no worship to the garish sun. Oh, I have bought the mansion of a love, but not possessed it, and though I am sold, not yet enjoyed, so tedious is this day. As is the night before some festival to an impatient child that hath new robes and may not wear them. Oh, here comes my nurse. Now, nurse, what news? Why dost thou wring thy hands?
Oh, Helena, he's dead! He's dead! We're undone, lady, we're undone! Alas, the day he's gone, he's killed, he's dead!
Can heaven be so envious?
Romeo can, though heaven cannot. Oh, Romeo, Romeo, whoever would have thought it, Romeo?
Devil art thou that dost torment me thus? This torture should be roared in dismal hell. Hath Romeo slain himself? Say thou but I, and that bare foul eye shall poison more than death-darting eye of cockatrice. I am not I, if there be such an eye.
Oh, Tybalt, Tybalt, the best friend I had. Courteous Tybalt, honest gentleman, that ever should live to see thee dead.
What storm is this that blows so contrary? Is Romeo slaughtered? And is Tybalt dead? My dearest cousin and my dearer lord. Then dreadful trumpets sound the general doom, for who is living if those two are gone?
Tybalt is gone, and Romeo banished. Romeo that killed him, he is banished.
Oh God, did Romeo's hand shed Tybalt's blood?
It did. Alas, the day it did.
Oh, serpent heart hid with a flowering face. Beautiful tyrant, fiend, angelical. Did ever dragon keep so fair a cave?
There's no trust, no faith, no honesty in men. All perjured, all forsworn, all not all dissemblers. Oh, where is my man? Get me so aquavitae, ho! Shame come to Romeo.
Blessed be thy tongue for such a wish. He was not born to shame. Upon his brow shame is ashamed to sit.
Will you speak well of him that killed your cousin?
Shall I speak ill of him that is my husband? Ah, poor my lord, what tongue shall smooth thy name when I, thy 3 hours' wife, have mangled it? But wherefore, villain, didst thou kill my cousin? That villain cousin would have killed my husband. Back, foolish tears, back to your native spring. My husband lives that Tybalt would have slain, and Tybalt's dead that would have slain my husband. All this is comfort. Wherefore weep I then? Some word there was worser than Tybalt's death that murdered me. I would forget it fain, but oh, it presses to my memory like damned guilty deeds to sinners' minds. Tybalt is dead, and Romeo banished. That one word banished have slain 10,000 Tybalts. Where is my father and my mother, nurse?
Weeping and wailing over Tybalt's corpse.
Wash they his wounds with tears. Mine shall be spent when theirs are dry for Romeo's banishment. Come, good nurse, I'll to my wedding bed, and death, not Romeo, take my maidenhead.
Hie to your chamber. I'll find Romeo to comfort you. I wot well where he is. Hark ye, your Romeo will be here at night. I'll to him, he is hid at Laurence' cell.
Oh, find him, give this ring to my true knight, and bid him come to take his last farewell. Romeo, come forth, thou fearful man. I bring thee tidings of the prince's doom.
What less than doomsday is the prince's doom?
A gentler judgment vanished from his lips, not body's death, but body's banishment.
Banishment? Be merciful, say death, for exile hath more terror and is looked much more than death. Do not say banishment.
Here from Verona art thou banished. Be patient, for the world is broad and wide.
There is no world without Verona walls, but purgatory, torture, hell itself. Hence banished is banished from the world, and world's exile is death.
Oh, deadly sin, oh rude unthankfulness. Thy fault our law calls death, but the kind prince, taking thy part, hath rushed aside the law and turned that black word death to banishment. This is dear mercy, and thou seest it not.
'Tis torture and not mercy. Heaven is here where Juliet lives, and every cat and dog and little mouse, every unworthy thing live here in heaven and may look on her, but Romeo may not. More validity, more honorable state, more courtship lives in carrion flies than Romeo. They may seize on the sweet wonder of dear Juliet's hand and steal immortal blessings from her lips. Flies may do this, but I from this must fly. And sayest thou yet that exile is not death? Oh, Friar, the damned, you said word in hell, howling attention.
Thou fond madman, hear me a little speak.
Oh, thou wilt speak again of banishment.
I'll give thee armor to keep off that word, adversity's sweet milk, philosophy to comfort thee, though thou art banished.
Yet, banished. Hang up philosophy! Unless philosophy can make a Juliet, displant a town, reverse a prince's doom, it helps not, it prevails not, talk no more!
Oh, then I see that madmen have no ears.
How should they, when wise men have no eyes?
Let me dispute with thee of thy estate.
Thou canst not speak of that thou dost not feel! Were thou as young as I, Juliet thy love, in hour but married, Tybalt murdered, doting like me, and like me banished. Then mightst thou speak. Then mightst thou tear thy hair and fall upon the ground as I do now, taking the measure of an unmade grave.
Arise, one knocks, good Romeo, hide thyself. Hark how they knock. Who's there? Romeo, arise, thou wilt be taken. Stay a while, stand up, run to my study. By and by. God's will, what simpleness is this? I come. Who knocks so loud? Whence come you? What's your will?
Let me come in, and ye shall know my errand. I come from Lady Juliet.
Welcome then.
Oh, holy friar, oh tell me, holy friar, where is my lady's lord? Where's Romeo?
There on the ground with his own tears made drunk.
Oh, he is even in my mistress' case, just in her case. Oh, woeful sympathy, piteous predicament, even so lies she, blubbering and weeping, weeping and blubbering. Stand up! Stand up! Stand, and you be a man for Juliet's sake. For her sake, rise and stand.
Nurse!
Ah, sir. Well, death's the end of all.
Speak thou of Juliet. How is it with her? Doth not she think me an old murderer, now I have stained the childhood of our joy with blood removed but little from her own?
Oh, she says nothing, sir, but weeps and weeps, and now falls on her bed, and then starts up, and Tybalt calls, and then on Romeo cries, and then down falls again.
As if that name shot from the deadly level of a gun did murder her, as that name's cursed hand murdered her kinsman. Oh, tell me, friar, tell me, in what vile part of this anatomy doth my name lodge? Tell me that I may sack the hateful mansion.
Hold thy desperate hand! Art thou a man? Thy form cries out thou art. Thy tears are womanish. Thy wild acts denote the unreasonable fury of a beast. Unseemly woman in a seeming man, an ill-beseeming beast in seeming both. Thou hast amazed me. By my holy order, I thought thy disposition better tempered. Hast thou slain Tybalt? Wilt thou slay thyself and slay thy lady that in thy life lives by doing damned hate upon thyself? What? Rouse thee, man! Thy Juliet is alive, for whose dear sake thou wast but lately dead. There art thou happy. Tybalt would kill thee, but thou slewest Tybalt. There art thou happy. The law that threatened death became thy friend and turned it to exile. There! Art thou happy? A pack of blessings light upon thy back. Happiness courts thee in her best array. But like a misbehaved and sullen wench, thou pouts upon thy fortune and thy love. Take heed, for such die miserable. Go, get thee to thy love as was decreed. Ascend her chamber hence and comfort her. But look thou stay not till the watch be set, for then thou canst not pass to Mantua, where thou shalt live till we can find a time to blaze your marriage, reconcile your friends, beg pardon of the prince, and call thee back with 200,000 times more joy than thou wentst forth in lamentation. Go before, nurse, commend me to thy lady. Romeo is coming.
Oh, I could have stayed here all night to hear good counsel. Oh, what learning is! My lord, I'll tell my lady you will come.
How well my comfort is revived by this.
Go hence, good night, and here stands all your state. Either be gone before the watch be set, or by the break of day, disguised from hence, sojourn in Mantua. 'Tis late. Farewell. Good night.
But that a joy past joy calls out on me, it were a grief so brief to part with thee. Farewell.
Things have fallen out, sir, so unluckily that we have had no time to move our daughter. Look you, she loved her kinsman Tybalt dearly, and so did I. Well, we were born to die. 'Tis very late. She'll not come down tonight.
These times of woe afford no times to woo. Madam, good night. Commend me to your daughter.
I will, and know her mind early tomorrow. Tonight she is mute up to her heaviness.
Sir Paris, I will make a desperate tender of my child's love. I think she will be ruled in all respects by me. Nay, more, I doubt it not. Wife, go you to her ere you go to bed, and acquaint her here of my son Paris' love. And bid her mark you me on Wednesday next. But soft, what day is this?
Monday, my lord.
Monday? Well, Wednesday is too soon. A Thursday let it be. A Thursday tell her she shall be married to this noble earl. Will you be ready? Do you like this haste?
My lord, I would that Thursday were tomorrow.
Well, get you gone. A Thursday be it then. Prepare her, wife, against this wedding day. Farewell, my lord. For me it is so late that we may call it early by and by. Good night.
Be gone? It is not yet near day. It was the nightingale, and not the lark, that pierced the fearful hollow of thine ear. Nightly she sings on yond pomegranate tree. Believe me, love, it was the nightingale.
It was the lark, the herald of the morn, no nightingale. Look, love, what envious streaks do lace the severing clouds in yonder east. Night's candles are burnt out, and Jock and Day stands tiptoe on the misty mountain tops. I must be gone and live, or stay and die.
Yond light is not daylight. I know it. It is some meteor that the sun exhales to be to thee this night a torch-bearer, and light thee on thy way to Mantua. Therefore stay yet. Thou needst not to be gone.
Let me be ta'en. Let me be put to death. I am content, so thou wilt have it so. I'll say yond grey is not the morning's eye, 'tis but the pale reflex of Cynthia's brow. I have more care to stay than will to go. Come death, and welcome. Juliet wills it so. How is't, my soul? Let's talk. It is not day.
It is. It is. Hie, hence, be gone away. It is the lark that sings so out of tune, straining harsh discords and unpleasing sharps. Some say the lark makes sweet division. This doth not so, for she divideth us. Oh, now be gone, more light and light it grows.
More light and light, more dark and dark our woes.
Madam,
nurse?
Your lady mother is coming to your chamber. The day is broke. Be wary, look about.
Then window let day in and let life out.
Farewell. Farewell. One kiss and I'll descend.
Art thou gone so? Love, lord, I husband, friend. I must hear from thee every day in the hour. For in a minute there are many days. Oh, by this count I shall be much in years ere I again behold my Romeo.
Farewell. I will omit no opportunity that may convey my greetings, love, to thee.
Oh, thinkest thou we shall ever meet again?
I doubt it not, and all our woes shall serve as sweet discourses in our time to come.
Oh, God, I have an ill-divining soul. Methinks I see thee now, thou art so low as one dead in the bottom of a tomb. Either my eyesight fails, or thou look'st pale.
And trust me, love, in my eye so do you. Dry sorrow drinks our blood. Adieu. Adieu.
Oh, Fortune, Fortune, all men call thee fickle. If thou art fickle, what dost thou with him that is renowned for faith? Be fickle, Fortune, for then I hope thou wilt not keep him long, but send him back.
How, daughter, are you up?
Who is that calls? It is my lady mother. Is she not down so late or up so early?
Why, how now, Juliet?
Madam, I am not well.
Evermore weeping for your cousin's death? What, wilt thou wash him from his grave with tears? And if thou couldst not make him live, therefore have done. Some grief shows much of love, but much of grief shows still some want of wit.
Yet let me weep for such a feeling loss.
Well, girl, thou weeps not so much for his death as that the villain lives which slaughtered him.
What villain, madam?
That same villain Romeo.
Villain and he be many miles asunder. God pardon him. I do with all my heart. And yet no man like he doth grieve my heart.
That is because the traitor murderer lives.
Madam, from the reach of these my hands would none but I might venge my cousin's death.
Oh, we will have vengeance for it, fear thou not. I'll send to one in Mantua where that same banished renegade doth live, shall give him such an unaccustomed dram that he shall soon keep Tybalt company. And then I hope thou wilt be satisfied.
Indeed, I shall never be satisfied with Romeo till I behold him. Dead is my poor heart for such a kinsman vexed.
But now I'll tell thee joyful tidings, girl.
And joy comes well in such a needy time. What are they? Beseech your ladyship.
Well, thou hast a careful father, child, one who to put thee from thy heaviness hath sorted out a sudden day of joy, that thou expects not, nor I looked not for.
Madam, in happy time, what day is this?
Oh, marry, my child, early next Thursday morn, the gallant, young, and noble gentleman, the County Paris at St. Peter's Church, shall happily make thee there a joyful bride.
Now, by St. Peter's Church and Peter too, he shall not make me there a joyful bride. I wonder at this haste that I should wed ere he that should be husband comes to woo. I pray you tell my lord and father, madam, I will not marry yet. And when I do, I swear it shall be Romeo, whom you know I hate, rather than Paris. These are news indeed.
Here comes your father. Tell him so yourself and see how he will take it at your hands.
When the sun sets, the earth doth drizzle dew, but for the sunset of my brother's son, it rains downright. How now, a conduit girl? What, still in tears, evermore showering? In one little body thou counterfeits a bark, a sea, a wind, for still thy eyes, which I may call the sea, do ebb and flow with tears. How now, wife? Have you delivered to her our decree?
Aye, sir, but she will none, she gives you thanks. I would the fool were married to her grave.
Soft, take me with you, wife. How, will she none? Does she not give us thanks? Is she not proud? Does she not count her blessed, unworthy as she is, that we have wrought so worthy a gentleman to be her bridegroom?
Not proud you have, but thankful that you have. Proud can I never be of what I hate, but thankful even for hate that is meant love.
How now? Chopped logic? What is this? Proud, and I thank you not, and yet not proud? Mistress minion, you thank me no thankings, nor proud me no prouds, but fettle your fine joints 'gainst Thursday next, to go with Paris to St. Peter's Church, or I will drag thee on a hurdle thither. Out, you green sickness carrion, out, you baggage, you tallow face!
Fie, what are you mad?
Good father, I beseech you on my knees, hear me with patience, but to speak a word.
Hang thee, young baggage, disobedient wretch! I tell thee what, get thee to church a Thursday, or never after look me in the face. Speak not, reply not, do not answer me. My fingers itch. Wife, we scarce thought us blessed that God had lent us but this only child, but now I see this one is one too much, and that we have a curse in having her. Out on her, Hilding!
God in heaven bless her! You are to blame, my lord, to rate her so.
And why, my lady Wisdom? Hold your tongue.
I speak no treason.
Oh, goody good end.
May not one speak?
Peace, you mumbling fool! Utter your gravity or a gossip's bowl, for here we need it not.
You are too hot.
God's blessed mother wife, it makes me mad! Day, night, hour, tide, time, work, play, alone, in company, still my care hath been to have her matched. And having now provided a gentleman of noble parentage, of fair demeans, youthful and nobly allied, stuffed, as they say, with honorable parts, proportioned as one's thought would wish a man, and then to have a wretched, puling fool, a whining mammet in her fortune's tender to answer, I'll not wed, I cannot love, I am too young, I pray you pardon me. But an you will not wed, I'll pardon you. Graze where you will, you shall not house with me. Look to it, think on it, I do not use to jest. Thursday is near, lay hand on heart, advise. And you be mine, I'll give you to my friend. And you be not, hang, beg, starve, die in the streets, for by my soul I'll ne'er acknowledge thee, nor what is mine shall never do thee good. Trust to it, bethink you, I'll not be forsworn.
Is there no pity sitting in the clouds that sees me in the bottom of my grief? Oh, sweet my mother, cast me not away. Delay this marriage for a month, a week. Or, if thou wilt not, make the bridal bed in that dim monument where Tybalt lies.
Talk not to me, for I'll not speak a word. Do as thou wilt, for I have done with thee.
Oh, God. Oh, nurse, how shall this be prevented? Alack, that heaven should practice stratagems upon so soft a subject as myself. Oh, what sayest thou? Hast thou not a word of joy? Some comfort, nurse.
Faith, here it is. Romeo is banished, and all the world to nothing that he dares ne'er come back to challenge you, or if he do, it must needs be by stealth. Then, since the case so stands as now it doth, I think it best you married with the county. Oh, he's a lovely gentleman. Romeo's a dishclout to him. An eagle, madam, hath not so green, so quick, so fair an eye as Paris hath. Beshrew my heart, I think you are happy in this second match, for it excels your first.
Speakest thou from thy heart?
And from my soul, too, or else beshrew them both.
Amen.
What?
Well, thou hast comforted me marvelous much. Go in and tell my lady I am gone, having displeased my father to Laurence cell to make confession and to be absolved.
Marry, I will, and this is wisely done.
Ancient damnation, O most wicked fiend! Is it not more sin to wish me thus forsworn, or to dispraise my lord with that same tongue which she hath praised him with above compare so many 1,000 times? Go, counselor. Thou and my bosom henceforth shall be twain. I'll to the friar to know his remedy. If all else fail, myself have power to die.
On Thursday, sir, the time is very short.
My father Capulet will have it so, and I am nothing slow to slack his haste.
You say you do not know the lady's mind. Uneven is the course, I like it not.
Immoderately she weeps for Tybalt's death, and therefore have I little talked of love, for Venus smiles not in a house of tears. Now, sir, her father counts it dangerous that she doth give her sorrow so much sway, and in his wisdom hastes our marriage to stop the inundation of her tears, which, too much minded by herself alone, may be put from her by society. Now, sir, do you know the reason for this haste?
I would I knew not why it should be slowed. Look, sir, here comes the lady towards my cell.
Happily met, my lady, and my wife.
That may be, sir, when I may be a wife.
That may be, must be, love, on Thursday next.
What must be shall be.
That's a certain text.
Come you to make confession to this father?
To answer that, I should confess to you.
Do not deny to him that you love me.
I will confess to you that I love him.
So will ye, and I am sure that you love me.
If I do so, it will be of more price being spoke behind your back than to your face.
Poor soul, thy face is much abused with tears.
The tears have got small victory in that, for it was bad enough before their spite.
Thou wrong'st it more than tears with that report.
That is no slander, sir, which is a truth. And what I spake it to my face.
Thy face is mine, and thou hast slandered it.
It may be so, for it is not mine own. Are you at leisure, Holy Father, now, or shall I come to you at evening mass?
My leisure serves me, pensive daughter, now. My lord, we must entreat the time alone.
God shield, I should disturb devotion. Juliet, on Thursday early will I rouse ye. Till then, adieu, and keep this holy kiss.
Oh, shut the door, and when thou hast done so, come, weep with me, past hope, past cure, past help.
Oh, Juliet, I already know thy grief. It strains me past the compass of my wits. I hear thou must, and nothing may prevent it on Thursday next be married to this county.
Tell me not, Friar, that thou hear'st of this, unless thou tell me how I may prevent it. If in thy wisdom thou canst give no help, do thou but call my resolution wise, and with this knife I'll help it presently. God joined my heart and Romeo's, thou our hands. And ere this hand by thee to Romeo sealed shall be the label to another deed, or my true heart with treacherous revolt turn to another, this shall slay them both. Be not so long to speak. I long to die. If what thou speak not of remedy.
Hold, daughter! I do spy a kind of hope. If rather than to marry County Paris thou hast the strength of will to slay thyself, then it is likely thou wilt undertake a thing like death to chide away this shame. And if thou darest, I'll give thee remedy.
Bid me leap rather than marry Paris from off the battlements of any tower, or hide me nightly in a charnel house, or covered quite with dead men's rattling bones, with reeky shanks and yellow chapless skulls, and I will do it without fear or doubt to live an unstained wife to my sweet love.
Hold, then! Go home, be merry, give consent to marry Paris. Wednesday is tomorrow. Tomorrow night look that thou lie alone. Let not thy nurse lie with thee in thy chamber. Take thou this vial, being then in bed, and this distilling liquor drink thou off, when presently through all thy veins shall run a cold and drowsy humor, no warmth, no breath shall testify thou livest, and in this borrowed likeness of shrunk death thou shalt continue 24 hours, and then awake as from a pleasant sleep. Now, when the bridegroom in the morning comes to rouse thee from thy bed, there art thou dead. Then, as the manner of our country is, in thy best robes, uncovered on the bier, thou shalt be borne to that same ancient vault where all the kindred of the Capulets lie. In the meantime, before thou shalt awake, show Romeo by my letters know our drift, and hither shall he come. And that very night shall Romeo bear thee hence to Mantua. And this shall free thee from this present shame, if no inconstant toy nor womanish fear abate thy valor in the acting it.
Give me, oh, tell me not of fear.
Hold, get you gone, be strong and prosperous. In this resolve I'll send a friar with speed to Mantua with my letters to thy lord.
Love give me strength, and strength shall help afford. Farewell, dear friar.
So many guests invite as here are writ. Sirrah, go hire me 20 cunning cooks.
I warrant you, sir. Let me alone for that. I'll know them by licking their fingers.
How canst thou know them so?
Marry, sir, 'tis an ill cook that cannot lick his own fingers. Therefore, he that cannot lick his fingers goes not with me.
Go, be gone. What, nurse, is my daughter gone to Friar Laurence?
Aye, forsooth.
Well, he may chance to do some good on her. Peevish, self-willed harlotry it is.
I'll see where she comes from shrift with merry look.
How now, my headstrong? Where have you been gadding?
Where I have learnt me to repent the sin of disobedient opposition to you in your behests, and am enjoined by holy Laurence to fall prostrate here, to beg your pardon. Pardon, I beseech you. Henceforward I am ever ruled by you.
Send for the county. Go tell him of this. I'll have this knot knit up tomorrow morning.
I met the youthful lord at Laurence' cell, and gave him what becomed love I might, not stepping o'er the bounds of modesty.
Why, I am glad on it. This is well. Stand up. This is as it should be. Let me see the county. Aye, Mary, go, I say, and fetch him hither. Now, afore God, this reverend holy friar, all our whole city is much bound to him.
Nurse, will you go with me into my closet to help me sort such needful ornaments as you think fit to furnish me tomorrow?
No, not till Thursday. There's time enough.
Go, nurse, go with her. We'll to church tomorrow.
Come, sweetheart, shall we go?
We shall be short in our provision. 'Tis now near night.
Tush, I will stir about, and all things will be well, I warrant thee, wife. Go thou to Juliet, help to deck her up. I'll not to bed tonight, let me alone. I'll play the housewife for this once. What ho?
They are all forth.
Well, I will walk myself to County Paris to prepare him up against tomorrow. My heart is wondrous light, since this same wayward girl is so reclaimed.
Aye, those attires are best, but gentle nurse, I pray thee, leave me to myself tonight. For I have need of many orisons to move the heavens to smile upon my state, which, well thou knowest, is cross and full of sin.
Well, there's a clean smock under your pillow, and so good night.
Farewell. God knows when we shall meet again. I have a faint cold fear thrills through my veins that almost freezes up the heat of life. I'll call her back again to comfort me. Nurse! What should she do here? My dismal scene, I needs must act alone. Come, Vial. What if this mixture do not work at all? Shall I be married then tomorrow morning? No, this shall forbid it. Lie thou there. What if it be a poison which the friar subtly hath ministered to have me dead, lest in this marriage he should be dishonored because he married me before to Romeo? I fear it is. And yet, methinks it should not, for he hath still been tried a holy man. How, if when I am laid into the tomb, I wake before the time that Romeo come to redeem me? There's a fearful point. Shall I not then be stifled in the vault to whose foul mouth no wholesome air breathes in, and there die strangled ere my Romeo comes? Or, if I live, is it not very like the horrible conceit of death and night together with the terror of the place, as in a vault, an ancient receptacle wherefore these many 100 years the bones of all my buried ancestors are packed, or bloody Tybalt, yet but green in earth, lies festering in his shroud, where, as they say at some hours in the night, spirits resort. Alack, is it not like that I so early waking, what with loathsome smells and shrieks like mandrakes torn out of the earth, that living mortals hearing them run mad? Oh, if I wake, shall I not be distraught and virened with all these hideous fears, and madly play with my forefathers' joints, and pluck the mangled Tybalt from his shroud, and in this rage with some great kinsman's bone, as with a club, dash out my desperate brains? Oh, look! Methinks I see my cousin's ghost seeking out Romeo that did spit his body upon a rapier's point. Stay, Tybalt, stay! Romeo. Here's drink. I drink to thee.
Take these keys and fetch more spices, nurse.
They call for dates and quinces in the pastry.
Come, stir, stir, stir. The second cock hath crowed, the curfew bell hath rung, 'tis 3 o'clock. Look to the baked meats, good Angelica. Spare not for cost.
Go, you cot queen, go. Faith, you'll be sick tomorrow for the night's watching.
No, not a whit. What? I've watched all night ere now for lesser cause and ne'er been sick.
You have been a mouse hunt in your time, but I will watch you from such watching now.
A jealous hood. The county will be here with music straight, for so he said he would. I hear him near. Nurse, go waken Juliet. Go and trim her up. I'll go and chat with Paris. Hi, make haste.
Mistress! What mistress? Juliet? Fast I warrant her she. Why, lamb? Why, lady? Fie, you slug a bed, what love I say? Madam! Sweetheart! What bride? What not a word? You take your pennyworths now. Sleep for a week, for the next night I warrant the county of Paris has set up his rest, that you shall rest but little. God forgive me. Marry and amen. How sound is she asleep? What, dressed and in your clothes and down again? I must needs wake you. Lady? 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 Alas, alas, help! Help! My lady's dead! Oh, well a day that ever I was born! My lord, my lady!
What noise is here?
Oh, lamentable day!
What is the matter?
Look, look, oh heavy day!
Oh me. My child. My only life, revive. Look up or I will die with thee. Help. Help, call help.
For shame, bring Juliet forth, her lord is come.
Alack, the day she's dead. She's dead. She's dead.
Huh? Let me see her. Oh, alas, she's cold.
Oh, lamentable day!
A woeful time.
Come, is the bride ready to go to church?
Ready to go, but never to return. Oh, son, the night before thy wedding day hath death lain with thy wife. There she lies, flower as she was, deflowered by him. Death is my son-in-law. Death is my heir.
I thought long to see this morning's face, and doth it give me such a sight as this?
Oh, cursed, unhappy, hateful, wretched day, most miserable hour that e'er time saw.
Despised, hated, martyr, killed, unprofitable time. Why canst thou now to murder our solemnity?
Peace! Ho! For shame! Confusion's cure lives not in these confusions. Heaven and yourself had part in this fair maid. Now heaven hath all, and all the better is it for the maid. Your part in her you could not keep from death, but heaven keeps his part in eternal life. The most you sought was her promotion, for 'twas your heaven she shouldst be advanced. And weep ye now, seeing she is advanced above the clouds as high as heaven itself. Oh, in this love you love your child so ill that you run mad, seeing that she is well. She's not well married that lives married long, but she's best married that dies married young. Dry up your tears and stick your rosemary on this fair course, and as the custom is, in her best array, bear her to church. For though fond nature bids us all lament, yet nature's tears are reason's merriment.
All things that we ordain in festival turn from their office to black funeral.
Sir, go you in, and madam, go with him, and go, Sir Paris. Everyone prepare to follow this fair course unto her grave. The heavens do lower upon you for some ill. Move them no more by crossing their high will.
Faith, we may put up our pipes and be gone.
Honest musicians, put up, for well you know this is a pitiful case.
Musicians, oh musicians, heart's ease, heart's ease. Oh, and you will have me live, play heart's ease.
Why heart's ease?
Oh, musicians, because my heart itself plays, my heart is full. Play some merry dump to comfort me.
Not a dump, we. 'Tis no time to play now.
You will not, then?
No.
Then I'll give it you soundly.
What will you give us?
No money on my faith, but the gleek. I'll give you the minstrel.
Then will I give you the serving creature.
Then will I lay the serving creature's dagger on your pate. I will carry no crotchets. I will ray you. I will faw you. Do you note me?
And you ray us and faw us. You note us.
Pray you put up your dagger and put out your wit.
Then have at you with my wit. I'll dry beat you with an iron wit, and put up my iron dagger. Answer me like men. When griping griefs the heart doth wound, and doleful dumps the mind oppress. Then music with her silver sound. Why silver sound? Why music with her silver sound? What say you, Simon Catling?
Marry, sir, because silver hath a sweet sound?
Prates. What say you, Hugh Rebick?
I say silver sound because musicians sound for silver.
Prates, too. What say you, James Soundpost?
Faith, I know not what to say.
Oh, I cry you mercy. You are the singer. I will say for you, it is music with her silver sound, because musicians have no gold for sounding. Farewell, bankrupts.
What a pestilent knave is this same?
Hang him, Jack. Come, Will in here, tarry for the mourners, and stay dinner.
If I may trust the flattering truth of sleep, my dreams presage some joyful news at hand. I dreamt my lady came and found me dead. Strange dream that gives a dead man leave to think, and breathes such life with kisses in my lips that I revived and was an emperor. News from Verona! How now, Balthazar? Dost thou not bring me letters from the friar? How doth my lady? Is my father well? How doth my lady Juliet? That I ask again, for nothing can be ill if she be well.
Then she is well, and nothing can be ill. Her body sleeps in Capo's monument, and her immortal part with angels live. I saw her laid low in her kindred's vault, and presently took post to tell it you. Oh, pardon me for bringing these ill news, since you did leave it for my office, sir.
Is it even so? Then I defy you, stars. Thou knowest of my lodging. Give me ink and paper. I will not stay in Mantua tonight.
I do beseech you, sir. Have patience. Your looks are pale and wild, and do import some misadventure.
Tush, thou art deceived. Leave me, and do the thing I bid thee do. Hast thou no letters to me from the friar?
No, my good lord.
No matter. Get thee gone, and hire post horses. I'll be with thee straight. Well, Juliet, I will lie with thee tonight. Let's see for means. Oh, mischief, thou art swift to enter in the thoughts of desperate men. I do remember an apothecary, and hereabouts he dwells, which late I noted, bedecked in tattered weeds, meager his look, sharp misery had worn him to the bones, and in his needy shop a tortoise hung, an alligator stuffed, and other skins of ill-shaped fishes draped about the shelves. Noting this penury to myself, I said, and if the man did need a poison now, whose sale is present death in Mantua, here lives a caitiff wretch would sell it him. Oh, this same thought did but forerun my need, and this same needy man must sell it me, as I remember this should be his house. What ho, apothecary!
Who calls so loud?
Come hither, man! I see that thou art poor. Hold, there is 40 ducats. Let me have a dram of poison with such soon speeding gear as will disperse itself through all the veins that the life-weary taker may fall dead.
Such mortal drugs I have. But Mantua's law is death to any he that utters them.
Art thou so bare and full of wretchedness and fierce to die? Famine is in thy cheeks' need, and oppression starveth in thy eye. Contempt and beggary hangs upon thy back. The world is not thy friend, nor the world's law. The world affords no law to make thee rich. Then be not poor, but break it and take this.
My poverty, but not my will consents.
I pay thy poverty and not thy will.
Put this in any liquid thing you will, and drink it off. And if you had the strength of 20 men, it would dispatch you straight.
There's thy gold. Farewell, buy food, and get thyself in flesh. Come cordial, and not poison. Go with me to Juliet's grave, for there I must use thee.
Holy Franciscan Friar, Brother Ho!
This same must be the voice of Friar John. Welcome from Mantua. What says Romeo? Or if his mind be writ, give me his letter.
Going to find a barefoot brother out, one of our order, to associate me here in the city visiting the sick, And finding him, the searchers of the town, suspecting that we both were in a house with the infectious pestilence did reign, sealed up the doors, and would not let us forth, so that my speed to Mantua there was stayed.
Who bore my letter then to Romeo?
I could not send it. Here it is again, nor get a messenger to bring it thee, so fearful were they of infection.
Unhappy fortune! By my brotherhood, the letter was not nice, but full of charge of dear import, and the neglecting it may do much danger. Friar John, go hence, give me an iron crow, and bring it straight unto my cell.
Brother, I'll go and bring it thee.
Now must I to the monument alone. Within this 3 hours will fair Juliet wake.
Give me thy torch, boy, hence, and stand aloft. Yet put it out, for I would not be seen. Under yon yew trees lay thee all along, holding thy ear close to the hollow ground. So shall no foot upon the churchyard tread, but thou shalt hear it. Whistle then to me as a signal that thou hearest something approach. Give me those flowers. Do as I bid thee, go.
I am almost afraid to stand alone here in the churchyard, yet I will adventure.
Sweet flower, with flowers thy bridal bed I strew. Sweet tomb that in thy circuit dost contain the perfect model of eternity. Here Juliet with angels dost remain. Accept this latest favor at my hands, that living honored thee, and being dead with funeral praises do adorn thy tomb. The boy gives warning something doth approach. What cursed foot wanders this way tonight to cross my obsequies and true love's right? What with a torch? Muffle me night a while.
Give me that mattock and the wrenching iron. Hold, take this letter. Early in the morning see thou deliver it to my lord and father. Give me the light. Upon thy life I charge thee, whate'er thou hearest or seest, stand all aloof, and do not interrupt me in my course. The time and my intents are savage, wild, more fierce and more inexorable far than empty tigers or the roaring sea.
I will be gone, sir, and not trouble you.
So shalt thou show me friendship. Take thou that. Commend me to my father, and farewell, good fellow.
For all the same, I'll hide me hereabout. His looks I fear, and his intents I doubt.
Thou detestable maw, thou womb of death, gorged with the dearest morsel of the earth. Thus I enforce thy rotten jaws to open, and in despite I'll cram thee with more food.
This is that banished, haughty Montague that murdered my love's cousin, with which grief it is supposed the fair creature died, and now has come to do some villainous shame to the dead bodies. I will apprehend him. Stop thy unhallowed toil, vile Montague! Can vengeance be pursued further than death? Condemned villain, I do apprehend thee. Obey and go with me, for thou must die.
I must indeed, and therefore came I hither. Good, gentle youth, tempt not a desperate man. Put not another sin upon my head by urging me to fury. Oh, begone, by heaven, I love thee better than myself, for I come hither armed against myself. Oh, stay not! Begone, live, and hereafter say, a madman's mercy bid thee run away.
I do defy thy conjuration and apprehend thee for a felon here.
Wilt thou provoke me? Then have at thee, boy! Oh, Lord, they fight. I will go call the watch.
Oh. I am slain. If thou be merciful, open the tomb. Lay me with Juliet.
In faith I will. Let me peruse this face. Mercutio's kinsman, noble County Paris. I will bury thee in a triumphant grave. A grave. Who know a lantern slaughtered youth, for here lies Juliet, and her beauty makes this vault a feasting presence full of light. Oh, my love, my wife! Death that hath sucked the honey of thy breath hath had no power yet upon thy beauty. Thou art not conquered. Beauty's ensign yet is crimson in thy lips and in thy cheeks, and death's pale flag is not advanced there. Tybalt, liest thou there in thy bloody sheet? Oh, what more favor can I do to thee than with that hand that cut thy youth in twain to sunder his that was thy enemy? Forgive me, cousin. Dear Juliet, why art thou yet so fair? Shall I believe that unsubstantial death is amorous, and that the lean, abhorred monster keeps thee here in dark to be his paramour? For fear of that, I still will stay with thee, and never from this palace of dim night depart again. Here will I remain, with worms that are thy chambermaids. Here will I set up my everlasting rest, and shake the yoke of inauspicious stars from this world-wearied flesh. Eyes, look your last. Arms, take your last embrace. And lips, oh, you, the doors of breath, seal with a righteous kiss a dateless bargain to engrossing death. Come, bitter conduct, come, unsavory guide, thou desperate pilot, now at once run on the dashing rocks, thy seasick weary bark. Here's to my love. Oh, true apothecary. Thy drugs are quick. Thus, with the kiss, I die.
St. Francis be my speed. How oft tonight have my old feet stumbled at graves. Who's there?
Here's one, a friend, and one that knows you well.
Bliss be upon you. Tell me, my good friend, what torch is yonder light, as I discern it burneth in the Capel's monument?
It doth so, holy sir. And there's my master, one that you love.
Who is it?
Romeo.
How long hath he been there?
Full half an hour.
Go with me to the vault.
I dare not, sir. My master knows not, but I am gone hence, and fearfully did menace me with death if I did stay to look on his intent.
Stay, then I'll go alone. Fear comes upon me. Alack, alack, what blood is this which stains the stony entrance of the sepulchre? Romeo, oh, pale. Who else? What, Paris, too, and steeped in blood? Oh, what an unkind hour is guilty of this lamentable sin. The lady stirs.
Oh, comfortable friar. Where's my lord? I do remember well where I should be, and there I am. Where's my Romeo?
I hear some noise, lady. Come from that nest of death, contagion, and unnatural sleep. A greater power than we can contradict hath thwarted our intents. Come, come away, thy husband in thy bosom there lies dead, and Paris too. Come, I'll dispose of thee among a sisterhood of holy nuns. Stay, not to question, for the watch is coming. Come, go, good Juliet. I dare no longer stay.
Go, get thee hence, for I will not away. What's here? A cup closed in my true love's hand? Poison, I see, hath been his timeless end. Oh, churl, drunk all and left no friendly drop to help me after? I will kiss thy lips. Haply, some poison yet doth hang on them to help me die with a restorative. Thy lips are warm.
Lead boy, which way?
Yea, noise? Then I'll be brief. Oh, happy dagger, this is thy sheath. There rest, and let me die. I come to thee.
This is the place, there where the torch doth burn.
The ground is bloody. Search about the churchyard. Go, some of you, where you find attached. Pitiful sight. Here lies the county slain, and Juliet bleeding, warm and newly dead, who here hath lain the past day buried. Go tell the prince, run to the Capulets, raise up the Montagues, some others search. We see the ground whereon these woes do lie, but the true ground of these piteous woes we cannot without circumstance descry.
Here's Romeo's man. We found him in the churchyard.
Hold him in safety till the prince come hither.
Here is a friar that trembles, sighs, and weeps. We took this mattock and the spade from him as he was coming from this churchyard side.
A great suspicion. Stay the friar too.
What misadventure is so early up that calls our person from our morning's rest?
What should it be that they so shriek abroad?
Oh, the people in the street cry Romeo, some Juliet, and some Paris, and all run with open outcry toward our monument.
What fear is this which startles in your ears?
Sovereign, here lies the County Paris slain, and Romeo dead, and Juliet dead before, warm and new killed.
Search, seek, and know how this foul murder comes.
Here is a friar, and slaughtered Romeo's man, with instruments upon them fit to open these dead men's tombs.
Oh, heaven. Oh, wife, look how our daughter bleeds.
Oh, me. This sight of death is as a bell that warns my old age to a sepulchre.
Come, Montague, for thou art early up to see thy son, and ere now early down.
Oh, my liege. My wife is dead tonight, and young Benvolio is as he said too. Grief of my son's exile had stopped their breath. What further woe conspires against my age?
Look, and thou shalt see.
Oh, thou untaught, what manners is in this, to breast before thy father to a grave?
Seal up the mouth of outrage for a while, till we can clear these ambiguities and know their spring, their head, their true descent. And then I will be general of your woes and lead you even to death. Meantime, forbear, let mischance be slave to patience. Bring forth the parties of suspicion.
I am the greatest, able to do least, yet most suspected, as the time and place doth make against me of this direful murder. And here I stand both to impeach and purge myself condemned and myself excused.
Then say at once what thou dost know in this.
I will be brief, for my short date of breath is not so long as is a tedious tale. Romeo, there dead, was husband to that Juliet, and she, there dead, was Romeo's faithful wife. I married them, and their stolen marriage day was Tybalt's doomsday, whose untimely death banished the new-made bridegroom from this city, for whom, and not for Tybalt, Juliet pined. You, to remove that siege of grief from her betrothed, and would have married her perforce to County Paris. Then comes she to me, and with wild looks bid me devise some means to rid her from the second marriage, or in my cell there would she kill herself. Then gave I her, so tutored by my art, a sleeping potion, which so took effect as I intended, for it wrought on her the form of death. Meantime, I writ to Romeo that he should hither come, as this dire night, to help to take her from her borrowed grave, being the time the potion's force should cease. But he which bore my letter, Friar John, was stayed by accident, and yesternight returned my letter back. Then all alone at the prefixed hour of her waking came I to take her from her kindred's vault, meaning to keep her closely at my cell till I conveniently could send to Romeo. But when I came, some minute ere the time of her awaking, here untimely lay the noble Paris, and true Romeo dead. She wakes, and I entreated her come forth and bear this work of heaven with patience, but then a noise did scare me from the tomb, and she, too desperate, would not go with me, but, as it seems, did violence on herself. All this I know, and to the marriage her nurse is privy, and if aught in this miscarried by my fault, let my old life be sacrificed some hours before the time unto the rigor of severest law.
We still have known thee for a holy man. Where's Romeo's man? What can he say to this?
I brought my master news of Juliet's death, and then in post he came from Mantua, to this same place, to this same monument. This letter he early bid me give his father, and threatened me with death going in the vault if I departed not and left him there.
Give me the letter. I will look on it. Where is the county's page that raised the watch? Sirrah, what made your master in this place?
He came with flowers to strew his lady's grave, and bid me stand aloof, and so I did. Anon comes one with light to ope the tomb, and by my master drew on him, and then I ran away to call the watch.
This letter doth make good the friar's words, their course of love, the tidings of her death. And here he writes that he did buy a poison of a poor apothecary, and therewithal came to this vault to die and lie with Juliet. Where be these enemies? Capulet, Montague, see what a scourge is lain upon your hate, that heaven finds means to kill your joys with love. And I, for winking at your discords too, have lost a brace of kinsmen. All are punished.
Oh, brother Montague, give me thy hand. There is my daughter's dowry, for now no more can I bestow on her. That's all I have.
But I can give thee more, for I will raise her statue in pure gold, that whiles Verona by that name is known, there shall no figure at that rate be set as that of true and faithful Juliet.
As rich shall Romeo by his lady lie. Poor sacrifices of our enmity.
A glooming peace this morning with it brings. The sun for sorrow will not show his head. Go hence to have more talk of these sad things. Some shall be pardoned and some punished, for never was a story of more woe than this of Juliet and her Romeo.
In Romeo and Juliet, Cassidy Berg played Friar Laurence and Verona citizen. August Chaffin, Romeo. Louisa Darr, Lady Capulet. Keena Dietz, Benvolio and Page. Pip Edmund, Tybalt and Third Watchman. Maeve Filkins played Juliet. Ava Blackwell Kinney, Paris and Abraham. Madelyn Coberman, Peter, Samson, Apothecary and Chief Watchman. Anamika Nagargoje, Montague, Cousin Capulet, Hugh Rebick, and Friar John. Lucy Peltier, the Chorus, Prince Aeschylus, and Simon Catling. Ilsa Prokish, the Nurse. Abraham Riker, Mercutio, and Second Watchman. Audrey Thoburn, Gregory, Lady Montague, James Soundpost, Boy, and Balthazar. Ashlyn Walters played Capulet. Romeo and Juliet was produced by Shakespearean Youth Theatre under the artistic direction of Logan Verdoorn. Sound design and musical composition by Dan Dukich. Web design and development by Josh Dudley. Stage management by Gabriel Peñaloza-Hernandez. Video editing by Jeremy Wilker. Blake Walters was Assistant Director and Dramaturg. Special thanks to Alison Ruth, Jake Otto, Jeremy Wilker, Dan Dukich, and Kevin Springer. Romeo and Juliet was adapted and directed by Lukas Brasherfons, who dedicates this production to Jim Steinman. This activity is made possible by the voters of Minnesota through a grant from the Metropolitan Regional Arts Council, thanks to a legislative appropriation from the Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund.